Thank you for listening to Steel Roses Podcast, a podcast for women by women. My name is Jenny.
And I'm Melissa. And we're here to bring you inspiring content in a space where we can still be real about the everyday challenges for women. All right. So good morning, Jenny. We're back. How was your week?
It wasn't too bad. I've been recently, and now that my kids are older and I can actually interact with them, and it's fun to kind of hang out with them. And we're at the point where my kids are big enough where it's fun to hang out with them, and I'm enjoying it, minus the fighting. I've started to, on weeknights, because they're up later, I've started actually to do incorporating when I can 30 or 40 minutes of games, and I have them pick out a puzzle or a board game or Twister in some instances, which is getting interesting, and just kind of hanging with them for a little bit and making sure I have that specific one-on-one time. I was actually starting to feel like there was a gap and that they were missing hanging out with me. So I started doing that, and actually is making, even though it's hard some nights to disengage myself from mom mode and getting things done, it's actually been really nice having the little time with them. What about you? I know your week was probably not as.
I was going to first reply that when I call, I don't know. We'll get into that. My week was brutal, so I have no real memory of the full week. But when I called you at some point this week, and you guys were doing game night, and it sounded so cute. So I am looking forward to when my daughter gets to that age, and that was adorable though.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, my week was brutal. It was so funny because we did the work-life balance episode, and then that next week was just insane, and I was like, why? Literally one of those weeks where I was up to 1 or 2 in the morning, and then up with my daughter at 7, maybe 8 if she slept in, and then just repeat. So but yeah, last week was brutal. I'm gonna be honest, I'm still kind of recovering, but this next month should be good. So I just had to pay my dues, and then
not for nothing though, but I mean, even though yes, we talked about work-life balance and everything, but part of that is that it's kind of the accepting of there is going to be moments where you don't have any balance, and you have to just, you got to just suck it up. And, but that okay, it's just this week. I just have to get through this. It's short term. it'll get better from here, kind of thing.
I think back of because when my daughter was just born, that was kind of that was a long, cause I had to write the dissertation. It was I don't remember. I literally don't know how cause she would go to sleep, although she would, she was little, so she would go to sleep earlier, and then I just stay up till 1 o'clock every night and just write. And but that was 6 months. I was like, how the hell did I? Now I'm a week in, and I'm like, So yes, but the next month should be easy. So
well, it's interesting because it's interesting what you can achieve in those moments of, I have to do this, but I also have to do this. And you say it, you've said it time and again, that you don't know how I did it with 3 infants at the same time and a full-time job and everything else. And I always laugh, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how I did it either, but I actually do, because I know that I basically put on blinders and was just I'm just going to, I know I have to do this. I have to just survive. And I just put blinders on and did whatever I needed to do. Now, I'm not saying it was pleasant. And, to be perfectly honest, I think I might have some PTSD from it, because when
literal PTSD. Well, wait, you have to tell people that don't know us, you have to tell them that you have one child, when your oldest was a year, the twins were born.
Yes. So yes. My son was 1, the twins were born. Yeah. So I had 3 infants at the same time, and it was just mayhem at all times. So yeah, no, it's definitely now, I know that was more of that's something I will never be able to grind like that again. So thankfully it's over, but I'm glad you're done with this week, because you were.
But it was funny because in those instances, so I and I think we've both been like this. Like I was always when I was pregnant, and then even after my daughter was born, it was always still like I wanted to have something outside of family life for myself. But it's literally weeks like this where I'm like, well, why do you do this to yourself? You could be a stay-at-home mom if you want. Like you don't have to do all of the but yeah, we're through the week. So it's we're starting on a better page come this Monday. Oh, but I did also have a birthday in between the last time that we spoke. So it's kind of funny. Like it was like a little bit. So I turned 35, which I don't know.
Yay.
I felt
you made it to the second half of your 30s. Congratulations.
I'm halfway through. I don't know why 30 for some reason turning 30 freaked me out. And then 35 wasn't as bad, but I still was like, oh, turning 35. But it was funny because everyone's like, oh, what did you get for your, birthday? I literally, so I asked my husband for a new stroller because we go back and forth, to New Jersey so much to see family and things like that it got beat up in the airport. So I literally asked him for like the UPPAbaby, this is not an ad, but the UPPAbaby, the umbrella stroller or the G-Lux or whatever. But it's really nice and it's not as expensive as those crazy ones. So I asked him for that. And then I got the, again, this is not an ad, but I got the DB method. Cousin, have you heard of the DB method?
I haven't. Do you want to elaborate for a minute on that? Because I don't know about it.
So, I guess we're going on 3.5 years now, but like right before my wedding, I lost a bunch of weight. I don't even know really how I did that, but
I remember. Yeah.
I got back down to high school weight, and then we immediately got pregnant with Mia. So I didn't really get to enjoy that weight loss. Like I lost the weight. It was like 6 months prior to the wedding. I lost that weight. And then got that back down to high school weight. I was like, yeah. And then we immediately got pregnant with Mia. And then I actually did lose the baby weight pretty easy, but I think that was again due to like anxiety and stuff. But 2 years into motherhood, and I'm like, damn, I'm back to like I gotta lose that weight again. So I always fluctuate. I'm so short that like my weight just easily fluctuates. But I realized I can't do what I did last time. So before I was still in the PhD program, so I wasn't working a traditional 9 to 5. So I was like able to meal plan. I was able to like, like cook all the, my meal in time. And everything was like, organic, fresh, blah, blah, blah. I don't have time to do that anymore. And then the way I did it was I would go to the gym at night. I don't know. I was like a workout person at night. I like to work out at night. So I would work out at night. And then in the morning, I would do like a quick workout video at home. Yeah, I can't do that. Who has time to do that now?
No. Yeah, no, it totally goes out the window. Well, my struggles and for everyone listening, I've struggled with weight my entire life, and that's always been an issue for me. And after I had kids, it was more of an issue because especially with the twin pregnancy, I had basically lost control. Yeah. And it took, I'm going to be honest, it actually took I had my daughters in 2017, and then in 2019, I know 2020 is when pandemic was like big, but in 2019, I started on this journey with like the support of my husband to, get healthier, really look at how I was like treating myself and taking that important time to take care of myself. And during the pandemic, it's interesting because we were in lockdown, it gave myself and my husband like the opportunity to be like, okay, like it's time for me to prioritize like getting healthy because I was starting to get, residual symptoms of other problems because my weight had gotten so out of control. So I came out of pandemic later. And when people started seeing me, I remember we were on a family Zoom call and you were like, cousin, what are you up to? But it took, I want to say this for everyone, if any moms listening that have toddlers or small, babies or anything, It took me like 3 years to get my shit together to be able to take care of myself in that sense. So self care obviously is not a priority for me because of my situation, but it took time. But now I have the privilege and to be able to go out in the morning and work out. So I take full advantage of that. That actually,
Yeah, so no, I was gonna say, yeah, that's like circling back. This is why I got myself. So the DB method is it's a machine. So so I had to first acknowledge that what I did before wasn't going to be able how I do it now. So I it's a combination of I got so I'm gonna report back. I don't want to say the name of it yet, but I realized like I needed something quick and easy. And I hate doing like meal replacement stuff, but I got this, it's like organic, no filler, like because usually all those shakes like have filler in it and I hate that. So
mhm.
I finally found one that's organic, no filler, no natural flavors, like no artificial sweeteners. So I got that. That's coming tomorrow. So I'll report if it's good, I'll report back. But something that I could just have during the day if I don't have time to cook, like one of those healthy meals, then I can just use this in replacement.
Mhm.
And then also the DB method, it's supposed to be like it's a full body workout machine, but it stands for Dream Butt. So it's the DB method. They call it the DB method. It's literally that's what DB stands for. But it's supposed to be a full workout machine, and literally you can do it in your home. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's really compact. For like it's a 10-minute, 20-minute. You could pick which workout you want, and it's on your phone. So you pick out the workout that you want, and it's like a full body workout in like 20 minutes. So again, this week was nuts. I didn't have time to actually do that. But that wasn't the gift to myself for 35 was the GB method. And it was
I
quite
love
affordable.
that though.
So I'm going
I
to
love
report
that
back.
though.
And if it's something good, we'll share it with everybody.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Well, in on that note of you, taking care of yourself for your birthday and at requesting, this gift or saying, prioritizing something that you wanted to start doing again. We have Mother's Day on the horizon, cousin. I don't know if you noticed.
Come out of my head. That is next weekend.
I know you can pick you're like the little groundhog. You're going to pick your head up and you're like, oh, it's Mother's Day. I have to tell, I'm a planner by nature. When I started my professional career, I actually started out in logistics planning in my industry. And I'm a little behind this year. I was always the family member that was texting everybody in the family and being like, hey, Mother's Day is coming. Where are we going? What are we doing? Who's cooking? And this year, I just deprioritized it. My kids are in activities and sports and stuff now, and that's kind of like where I'm at with things. So I hadn't even really thought about it until my husband mentioned to me, like, "Oh, so what are you thinking for plans?" And I didn't really have an answer. So obviously you weren't paying attention either. You didn't realize it was coming.
Yes, no, it is coming, and I actually did not know. Okay, cousin. So, do we want to go in on the origins of Mother Day and kind of go into nerd mode here?
Let's take a quick break.
Are you interested in podcasting but not sure where to start? My name is Jenny Benitez, and I'm here to help guide you through your podcast launch and maintenance. Check out the link in the episode description for Podcasting Unboxed, your comprehensive startup guide. I am very excited to work with you. Absolutely. I love my fun facts. And we dug up a couple for you. So
Yes,
cousin, go ahead, take it away.
Isn't that sad? I didn't know the origins of Mother's Day.
I didn't either.
So the ancient Romans and the Greeks celebrated mother goddesses. So they kind of laid sort of the foundation. Mothering Sunday was an early Christian festival that would happen yearly. And then Julia Ward, who was a suffragist, she campaigned for Mother's Peace Day. So it kind of laid the ground for Anna Jarvis. And Anna Jarvis is the one that's actually credited for creating Mother's Day. She wanted it to be a day to honor the sacrifices mothers made for their children. And I think like the story goes is like she's sent like 500 white carnations to in honor of her mother to her mother's church. So that's why carnations are always popular for Mother's Day. But honestly, the funny part is, and we both kind of laughed at this, is she became really disillusioned with her own holiday, and she ended up hating how commercialized it became. So,
I thought that was interesting too, because she wanted it. The intention was it was meant to just be a day that you just honor your mother and spend time with them.
Right.
And it wasn't supposed to be this like $1 billion, like, oh, you have to spend money kind of day. It was meant to be at its core that you're just with your mother and honoring your mother.
So she the dark twist of Mother's Day, she ended up hating her own holiday. But yeah, no, it's crazy. In the US alone, it's expected that $35 billion is projected to be spent this year. And then 75% of moms are getting jewelry or flowers. I'm not going to lie, though. I'll take the jewelry.
I mean, who doesn't like that?
Note to Matt, please. Go ahead. About it. But yeah, so that's the little history lesson on Mother's Day.
That's funny. So for myself and my husband, we're both, it's interesting. We're both realists in the sense that when these holidays come up, we both have an attitude of, well, we're supposed to be honoring and loving and respecting each other every day. Like, so it's not, I know, and I'm not discounting anyone's way that they like to celebrate this holiday. If you want to go big, I'm all for it. Like, go for it. But personally, we're more simple. It's like, yes, we want to have that. We both want to show that gesture to each other, especially for our kids, because we want them to see this gesture of love and support for your partner.
100%.
But outside of that, we're both very much like, we just should be honoring and loving each other each day. And there's little things every day that you can do to celebrate your partner. It doesn't have to be relegated to a particular holiday. But so I've loosened up quite a bit about, planning the holiday and scheduling and killing myself in the kitchen, even though I love cooking, but like I'll go, I go big for pretty much everything I do. My instinct is always like menu build and, what are we going to do to get together? And cause that's how we grew up, Melissa, like, It was always, everyone got together and, our grandmother was in the kitchen and the aunts were in the kitchen and all the kids running around. And now that I have kids and I am the person who does the cooking, I'm like, wow, that was a lot of work. So I have definitely shifted over the years and loosened up. And, I'm much more low key now. This year, the way that I kind of set up the holiday weekend is Saturday is something that I do for myself, and that it's time with my immediate family and my children. And then Sunday is the day that I spend with my extended family. And, we keep it low key. I don't even cook anymore. We go out to eat and we just kind of hang out. And
I love that.
My mom is actually traveling. She's a retiree. So her and her sister are Thelma and Louise style. They're driving around the country. So, I actually think that's kind of cool that she's doing that. But I won't see my mom for Mother's Day. I'll be with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, very near and dear to my heart. I'll be with her. So, it's going to be a great holiday. Melissa, what are your plans?
Our plans are not as low key, and that sounds wonderful to me. Like, that's what I would like to be doing. My mother, super rock star right now. She's with other parts of our family in Paris.
I know.
I want to be in Paris.
So
she's getting back the day before Mother's Day, and she's going to be pretty jet lagged. So Matt had scheduled we are Disney pass holders. So we haven't been, this 2023 has been kind of crazy. So we haven't been able to actually use them. So before, we didn't realize it was Mother's Day. He was like, oh, let's head to Disney for the weekend. So we're going to be in Disney, which I have to tell you, if anyone listening has been to Disney, you know, it's not like a relaxing.
It's like a workout.
It's like a workout, but yes, it will be fun. It will definitely still be fun. We're going to go on Friday. We're within driving distance. So we're going to drive there Friday and then come back Sunday and then stop at my mom's on the way back and see her as she's sleeping probably. But, but it is, my daughter loves it there, like typical, you know, she really does love it there. So she will be in her glory and I'll just love watching her as I'm also tired. But it's funny though. Like, it's like, you know, the things that you bring into childhood, like Matt never went there, was never able to go to Disney as a kid. So, and both him and his sister love going to Disney as adults. Now, you know, there's Food and Wine Festival. There's a lot of adulting going on in Disney, believe it or not. But he really, since we are within driving distance, he's like, it's fulfilling, I think, a childhood missed opportunity. But yeah, I'm mentally preparing myself. Actually, we could have a whole Disney episode because the people that go, it's intense. Like, there's like this Genie Pass. You have to schedule like rides and like, you know, if you go into like the Disney Facebook groups, it's like these moms have color coded charts, there's schedules, it's cousin. It is no joke.
Yeah, I would probably be right there with them. Like, you know how I am about planning.
Well, and
like,
especially
stuff.
like
And
the families that are coming from far away, where it's like you save up all year, and Disney's
you have to optimize.
and Disney's crazy expensive now. Forget it, for like a family like you, like family of 5, it would be tens of like $10,000 easy.
Yeah, no, I did like a projection the one time before I even had kids, when it was just myself and my husband and my stepkids. And I was like on it and I did a projection and I was like, oh, look, it's going to take about $10,000. It was between 10 and 15,000. And I was like, oh, you know what? The Jersey Shore does not sound so bad. We can just go there.
But yeah, so that's where we'll be. But you know, I'll get steps in, so I'll report back after we get home.
So you had mentioned, you know, you're going to love, watching Mia and moms have that. I'm going to talk about mine, that I love seeing my kids happy. But outside of our focus on our kids, Melissa, I believe you've used a phrase before and it's not coming to the top of my mind. And I want you to elaborate on it because I think it's actually a little bit funny. Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
What I call my SPB, my secret parent behavior. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I love, and I'll always like, especially with new moms, I'm like, you're going to develop an SPB. And they're like, what the hell is that? Like some sort of disease. I'm like, no.
I have to go to the doctor. Like, no.
That is your secret parent behavior. I'll tell you mine because honestly, this relates, shifting into like thinking about like what would be your dream Mother's Day. This relates to my SPB. So my secret parent behavior is that, and this is probably, I have to stop this, but after Mia would go to sleep, I would sneak back downstairs, make myself, usually it's microwave popcorn or something along those lines, and I'd snack and watch Netflix or something, you know, some sort of television, because I didn't get to watch television at all during the day. So that was my SPB. I would like snack out and like binge some sort of episode of something. Cousin, do you have an SPB that you don't even realize?
You know, I've given it a thought a few times. Every time you bring it up, like, what is it that I do that's just like a small moment, you know, or what have you. And it's actually a little bit funny because I started doing it and then I realized my mom used to do it too. And I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I have this little stash of Hershey Kisses in the refrigerator. And like, sometimes when I'm having like a bad moment, and I'm the tallest in the house, so I can hide things. And if I'm having a bad moment, I'll take one of my little treats and just be like, just take a minute and enjoy this little treat before you have to dive back into the madness. Like, it's something that like I'm not saying you should use food for comfort. It's a bad thing that I do, but it's like this little tiny thing that like nobody really knows it's there until they hear this podcast and start looking for my secret stash. But it's just my little tiny thing that I do.
No, I love that. See, we all have a secret parent behavior. You don't even realize that you're doing it, but you have there's always something that we do. But yeah, in terms of like what your dream Mother's Day would look like, mine relates to my secret parent behavior because I would legit just want to sleep in and binge
sleep.
movies. Like and
sleep.
And that's like one of the key differences between me and my husband is like legit. So we've been together, well, we're married 3 years, but we dated for 15. We've been together since high school. Yep. So we've been together 18 years. He has never, ever taken a day to just veg out. Like he's one of those types. Like not saying that like, we watch football game, he's not big on TV, but like we'll watch football games, but like he's never spent a whole day just lying in bed watching television. And I have to say, like, I can do that. Like I can't do it for multiple days in a row, but I could take a day and like just veg out and relax. And he can't. So he's when he's home, he's either cleaning or he's mowing the lawn or whatever, or has a project. Like he's not the type. He's always got to be doing something. And even vacations, like either we're going to New Jersey and then we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, seeing everybody. Even with Disney, like I said, it's always like you're on the move, or we're in new places that he like wants to explore. So yeah, he'll sit on the beach for like a couple hours, 2 hours or whatever, but then he's got to move. He wants to go check out, like, I don't know, the last couple of, like we went to Colorado, and then before that I think it was Cuba. We went to Cuba. Like he wants to be on the go. But yeah, that's no, I would definitely take a day and I can't remember the last time I like slept in, really.
So that's your ideal Mother's Day.
That's my ideal Mother's Day. Sleep
and television.
Sleep and television.
I have to tell you, I also have that problem of not being able to just stay still and be.
I know. I actually joke that you guys are like the same person. Just
I actively have to force myself to like stop and be in the moment. And I actually do make an effort to do that, because I do worry that because I'm consistently thinking of my checklist and what do I have to do and what chores have to get done and who has to get a shower and who do I need to cook, or do I have work, or what are my meetings for tomorrow? Like I'm consistently having that in my head, and I actually forcibly stop myself and make an effort to say, like, look at this moment, enjoy this moment. This is the moment you've been trying to wait for. Because for a lot of us that are like that, you're go, 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 and you're always thinking of the future, and you will miss that you've actually worked really hard to be in this moment. And so in this moment, you should be celebrating and enjoying it and being in the moment, because you've worked so hard to get here this far. My dream Mother's Day.
That was,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was an important lesson, because again, sort of the silver lining to COVID, prior to my daughter being born, I was in that sort of go, go, go mode. And COVID kind of really made me realize that, like, I remember her hitting 6 months, and I was, so I was in the mode of, I got to graduate. I got to do this. I got to get this in the works. And I just remember being like, holy cow, she's 6 months, and I feel like I blinked and I missed it. So honestly, I'm kind of, not to pat myself on the back, but like I'm kind of proud of myself from like the time that she was a year till now. Like, so it's been like another year and a half. Like I've really stopped and been in the moment. So sometimes like Matt will come home and he'll be like, what happened to the living room? And I was like, you know what? I really sat down and just played with her on her level and like absorbed the moment. Or we went out and we went to the zoo and, you know, like I forgot about the dirty dishes in the sink. And I know sometimes it really does drive him crazy. Again, he's very, very clean and organized and like on the go like you, but like it's been really important. And I think this last year of motherhood in particular, it's allowed me to really appreciate the moments with her, and that I know I'm going to blink and she's going to be 5, you know? So, but yeah, so just riffing on what you were saying. Yeah, no, I think it was really important.
No, it is. It is. And because it's something that I had the same thing. My kids grew up, they're six, the twins are 6 and my son is 7. Like, when did that happen? Like,
Right.
where was I? Oh, right. I was being crazy.
Yeah. So wait,
So-
what would your dream Mother's Day look like? So mine
okay,
was sleeping and watching television.
Which, by the way, even as you were talking about sleeping and watching television, my eye was like twitching. Even
miss
when I
it.
relax.
Since she's been born, I've never I haven't had a day where I've just been able to sleep in and just like veg out.
That sounds like a nightmare. I can't even when I'm in, if I'm going to do something for myself and to relax, I still need to be achieving some sort of goal. I know I'm a lunatic. Like, please, I just can't even. So my dream Mother's Day would basically be where I need to use my brain as little as possible and make as little decisions as possible and just basically be on like a cognitive blackout for the day, because obviously I'm crazy and I'm consistently doing things. So if I could, I would have like a driver pick me up, shuttle me to a spa where I just had to like check a box to pick a package, and I get shuttled from treatment to treatment. And I'm hopeful that spas also include some sort of nap time situation, because if there was like, that would be cool to get like an hour nap in a spa day package. And then it like just shuttles me back home. and then I can kind of just float into my house and like, get on with, being
that
being
actually
myself.
sounds way better than my dream Mother's Day. I think we should I think we should do quote unquote research and
field search.
and then report back to the podcast.
It's important for the podcast for us to do this. Like, it's research. We can tell our husbands it's field research. We have to do this.
You know what the other thing I was gonna say when I was thinking like, okay, what would my dream Mother's Day is? Shopping alone. And I'm not talking about food shopping, but like clothes shopping. Like, I have not, and cousin, we were both big clothes shoppers pre-married life, pre-kids.
Yeah.
And now I just buy my daughter really cute clothes, but I have not like gone clothes shopping. And even like, I forgot, we were in a TJ Maxx, but my daughter beelines for the toy section. So I've not, like, can you imagine just like having even just a half hour just to like try on clothes by yourself?
No, I can't actually imagine it anymore. No, well, so my daughters are older, and they're actually very they're like little fashionistas, which I'm
actually all 3 of our girls. They are super like into fashion the makeup, sense, and me, my daughter, she's like super girly, so it's really funny.
I love it. I'm all here for it, but now I also realize that means that when we have little girls' days, like we'll do a girls' day, that means that they actually want to pick out accessories, and then my money goes to them as well. So like, I'm like, oh wait, I can't. They're like, Mommy, you're not going to get anything. I'm like, no, I guess not. Like, but to your point, I love it, and I encourage it, and I want them to be like that. So I'm here for it. I'm cool with it. So that's in a nutshell, everybody. That's sort of just where our minds are for Mother's Day. We like to have our little dreams of how we want the day to go. But I, at my core, am excited to spend time with my family and my kids, and just make that moment happen too. Because I think for both of us, and Melissa, I think I can speak for you, our families are really important to us. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, your family is everything. And I'm honored to be able to spend time with them.
Oh yeah. And cousin, I think that goes back to, and again, I don't want to speak for you, but like we are both children of divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both you and I have made it a priority to set foundations in our relationships and to really not only like work towards like having a stable nuclear family, but also enjoying those moments and those times that maybe we, growing up, we didn't necessarily have that traditional moment. So I think, we both like really love being able to just pause and take a moment and spend time with our families and
Yeah.
be in the moment with them. So
yeah,
in a
it's
nutshell,
crucial.
that's what our Mother's Days will reflect. Not sleep, but it
Not
will
sleep.
be family oriented.
But would actually, we would love to hear from all of you too. So make sure that you, drop us a line, send us a message, Steel Roses podcast, at gmail.com. And Melissa, what's the Insta handle?
Yep. It's complicated. It's a Steel Roses podcast.
Yes, true. I do. Yep. That was complex. I couldn't remember that.
But yeah,
one.
I think I'm going to make a little post with like, with one of those boxes where you could type in, because we want to hear, are we crazy? Like what are you doing for Mother's Day? And then like, also, what's your dream Mother's Day? Is it sleep like mine? Or is it
hers is spa/sleep? So just a couple like kind of key things I want to pull out for everybody before we close for today. Do Mother's Day how you want. There's no rules. Don't feel pressure to be fitting into some kind of mold or fitting, wanting to be like splashy on social. Like make it a personal day. Make it something that suits you. And I think that's the consistent theme across all of our episodes. Do what is best for you. Maybe it's just a chill day. Maybe you are a couch potato. Maybe it's a workout like my cousin over there running around Disney. Do it how you want to do it. Second thing is be in the moment. It takes 30 seconds to pause. Take 30 seconds when you are playing with your kids, spending time with your partner, out with your family, doing what you do, doing what you love. Take 30 seconds to be grateful for that moment, because you're alive and you reached this day. And no matter what you went through to get here, be grateful for this moment, because we don't know when that moment's going to end. Melissa, any notes from your side that you thought were important to pull through?
I think, and we didn't hit on this really throughout the episode, but I think like a big thing when I'm thinking about Mother's Day is just like no guilt, kind of like what you said, like do Mother's Day how you want, and appreciate this day and motherhood as how it fits for you, and don't feel guilty about it. There's so much I've taught, just talking to our family members and friends and stuff, and they're like, oh, I really want to take a half day away from like my family and just kind of relax. But then I feel guilty. I get that mom guilt. Like I shouldn't be wanting to be away from my kids. And it's not that you want to be away from your kids. It's just sometimes you just want a break, like go spend an hour clothes shopping, or go take a walk for 30 minutes by yourself. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. So I think that's important to remember for Mother's Day, is like, just, there's no need for mom's guilt.
Yeah, definitely not. And, on that, we do hope that everyone listening, any kind of mother that you are, we want you all to feel like you can celebrate on your day. We hope you all do have a great Mother's Day weekend. And, we hope that you all get to enjoy your days. We appreciate everybody listening to this podcast, and, we want to hear from you. So as Melissa said, reach out to us. Let us know, what are you doing for Mother's Day, or what's your dream Mother's Day going to be like? Would love to hear about it. So with that, thank you. We appreciate everyone listening.
We'll see you guys next week.